Hey, what's up? Good morning, everybody.
Hey, guys.
Welcome to another episode of the Fins Faithful Podcast, our second episode of Miami Dolphins Countdown to Game Day, where Curtis and I are going to take a deep dive. There's nobody else, no other channel besides maybe Curtis's and mine. We go
Very
in depth. We go in depth and we get you ready for tomorrow's critical bounce back game for the Miami Dolphins. We'll go through the injury report. Of course, we'll take you through the Dolphins game plan we think they should implement. We'll go over key matchups, keys to the game. We play that fun over-under game, individual player over-under game. Curtis, I know, loves that. Horrible last week, both of us. We'll get some bold predictions and our predictions, of course, on the game. So pull up a seat, grab some coffee, join us here. And, of course, if you're watching us on YouTube, thumbs up, share the broadcast, help support us and get the word out on our new Countdown to Game Day show. And, of course, hit that little sub and join us in the chat and help support the channel. We appreciate it.
Yep.
Curtis,
Oh, yeah.
Curtis,
yes, sir.
Good morning, sir.
How you doing? Getting ready, man. What a precarious moment we got here. Hey, Cap, man. What's going on, Cap, brother?
Cap, how you doing? Already people joining us in the morning here. Appreciate everybody in the chat.
Yeah.
All right. So where do we start? We kind of put a bow on last week. I kind of want to start here. Anything you want to wrap up from last week's game? Anything on your mind? Or we just jump straight into
I want to flush it down the toilet in a sense, but it's a data point, but I wanted to kind of like a flush data point. I know you wanted to bring up the team meetings. I think that's the framework for everything. That's the platform. That's this is a brutal sport, and you have to want to give your body. You have to believe. It's a confidence game too, where you've got to have confidence in yourself. You got to have confidence in the guy next to you. You've got to have confidence in your leadership. And all the talk about McDaniel is the greatest team chemistry I've ever seen in my life as a coach. It's got flushed. He came out with Chubb saying, guys were going rogue. And Weaver in the middle of the week said, oh, no, it wasn't going rogue. It was just guys wanted to do too much because they love the team and everything, and they weren't sticking to their zones. And then two were talking about the film. I want to see who's there at the film. And then you get a team, a players-only meeting, and that's a soup of dysfunction. And it's like people saying, is Mike McDaniel getting too much heat? In some ways, when the heart of the team, the belief in the team, the constant guys not showing up, and you're in year 4, it's critical. It's gone on for a long period of time. Even Hill missed, was on the wrong side of the field on one play. He's here 4 years. He's your number one guy that you've invested in. I just think that there is quicksand underneath this team. Not saying they can't win, but it's so difficult, especially when you got his personality, which is the Woody Allen, be your friend type thing. It doesn't seem to be working. It seems very, very sketchy. It's clear there's dysfunction. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, let's read the quotes. I got him here from
over it.
Yeah, from Tua and Jordan Brooks, supposedly the two leaders. Tua said, I got the offense together. We had a meeting about things that we wanted to hang our hats on this week, points of emphasis, and how we want to go about it this week, he said. That was on Wednesday. We got all of that communicated to those guys so that we've got everything under control.
So it was out of control?
Jordan Brooks. Losing the way we did it can be discouraging. Outside noise, people talking, family talking, everybody talking. So they're acknowledging, that remember, they don't hear anything in the building, right? The meeting was just kind of making sure that everybody's together. When you lose like that, it's easy for people to get discouraged, start looking, questioning maybe yourself or others. So making sure that we're all locked back in, making sure the belief is still there. If you lose belief, you don't have nothing, so make sure that everybody's still on the same page and come back next week stronger. Boy, didn't we hear all year about culture talk?
They lied to us.
We got rid of all good players. Cancer's out of the team, supposedly.
Yeah.
And the leaders of the team, week 1, are in crisis mode. Yep. Right? It shows the lack of leadership, not only from McDaniel, but it shows the lack of leadership from their leaders. You know, I think that's the problem we're getting into it too. Is it's his team, he's the leader, but now when you give them power, it's like, you know, then you see what they say you get to know somebody when you give them power, who they truly are and how they handle it. I just don't think you're seeing they don't handle it well. I think it's insane. I mean, look, if it gets them back on track, it gets them back on track. But I think it's insane. Week 1 already, we're having this big team. That means you didn't establish anything this offseason. It was all BS. It was all BS, Curtis. You agree, right?
Chubb, who came out and said something right after the game, told us he lied about when he told us they were together as a team last year. But I still take it back to McDaniel, because a coach has to be the leader. He might delegate, but ultimately he's in charge. And if they have no respect from the head coach and he delegates too much responsibility, then you've got a flawed model. You know, I go back to the World War II analogy. Hitler would just mercurially change who's running the show, and he would pull it, and there was never a real structure. But Eisenhower had a top-down authority. They knew who was in charge. It was clear chain of command, and they would beat the Germans to the punch all the time. And so we have this nebulous leadership situation, and you could say blame Tua, but Tua can't. No one can make anybody do anything unless they're pulling the purse strings. And clearly, Hill's he's going to melt down, and he's doing what he wants. And you know, you got a bunch of guys that aren't really talented, and you got guys you just thrust into the role, guys you thrust into roles that are too high for them, and then you're just like, oh, the team's going to run themselves. Like, why are you here? Just to create some loose game plan, hand to the players. That's all he does. Even in his game plan and his being an OC, he basically just creates this like concept, loose scheme, hands it to the players in long verbiage, gets them to the line of scrimmage too late, and then they got to process it all. There's no defined leadership. I'd say Weaver has some, but he's got Rasul Douglas, who just came in. Duck, who's a UDFA, who he may put in charge. Jack Jones, who's mercurial, hit and miss. Marshall, who's a rookie. You know, there's all the guys that didn't do what they're supposed to, and even Sealer was even mentioned in that. But when you get into the situation, it's very easy to get frustrated when everything breaks down. There's no real structure here. There's no real leadership. There's no real consistency. It's just a very dysfunctional design, starting with the talent and the whole framework of the build philosophy from Greer. It is chaos. It's what we've been chaos. Look, even before Greer, it was chaos. It's constant chaos, constant dysfunction. And even Ross likes the corporate structure where everybody's got a voice. That does not work in the NFL. You have one guy in charge. He listens to other people, and he's got to be wise enough to take the input that's valuable and then dispense that with wisdom. But you can't have, too many Indians, not enough Chiefs. And it's the same thing over and over and over and over again. And McDaniel just doesn't have, he's the OC and HC. It's a huge amount of responsibility. And he doesn't have the character or the acumen, because if you're winning, a lot of stuff like we saw in 22 and 23, it's covered up. So it's a terrible design from Greer to McDaniel. I give McDaniel a little bit of leeway because he was asked to do crazy stuff with no experience, and he was given some poor structure and team design. But ultimately, he's been revealed after year 4. This was a critical year. I thought last year was too. But, you got to keep going until the guy's fired. So he's not a bad guy. It's just too much. The whole thing is not designed well. He shouldn't have been the head coach. And if he was the head coach, he should have been allowed to build on a team that's rebuilding and not asked to win right away. So the whole thing is a disaster. We could still win today. I still pick us to win today, but it's like, makeup on a crack whore, in my opinion. Finn Sammy, what's going on, brother?
What's up, brother? Finn Sammy from Finn's TV in the house. Thank everybody who's watching.
Good guy.
Make sure, guys, if you're watching anywhere else, come on over to YouTube with us. Join us. Get in the chat. Hit that thumbs up. Give us a little subscribe. Help support Curtis and I in this countdown to game day, our second episode as we are diving deep into this match. Yeah, and you mentioned Weaver. Weaver's not the head coach, though. Like, the players are not going to look at Weaver because he's not the head coach. All right, these players look at the head coach for leadership, and obviously McDaniel doesn't have it. So until Weaver is put in that position, I don't count on Weaver to be that person, right? Is he? I don't know. I don't even know if Weaver's going to be a good head coach. Everybody's assuming he'll be the replacement. I don't know. You know what I mean?
I don't think he should be. I don't think he should be.
Curtis, if we go on
in the mix, but not should
if
be.
we go off week one's film, everybody's talking about McDaniel. I blame more the defense and Coach Weaver, and we'll get into the kind of some of the numbers they ran, the coverages. Shout out to
Elwood. What's going on, brother? I know
Dolphin.
Elwood.
Crazy Dolphin. Blake Balake is in the house. How you guys doing? Thanks for joining us in this Saturday morning. All right. Should we get into the game plan?
You just get into it. Let's get into it. One thing I just want to say quick on Weaver. Football is a game of horses. If you don't, hey, Crazy Fin fan, what's going on, brother? If you don't have a certain amount of horses, it's hard to win if the matchups are against you and to win consistently. I don't think Weaver should be given the head coach job. I think he should be in the mix. But this secondary is bad. And so when you've got this perturbation, you got one real good side and one terrible side, and you're going against a front and tight ends that are perfect match and maybe superior to your front talent, it exposes you. I'm not justifying Weaver, but he's in a similar way. He suffered what McDaniel suffered with the terrible offensive line, the terrible cycle build. That's not, it's fumble from 10 years ago, and we're in a totally different cycle. So, I just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
It's not easy when you don't got the horses.
Well, they're ready to get into it. Let's go.
Let's get into it. Let's go.
Quick on the injury report. We know what's going on there. Daniels is obviously out in the IR. Storm Duck's out. Benito's out. That's big. Austin Jackson.
No pun intended. It's big.
Yeah, that's real big. Doubtful is Ethan Bonner and Jalen Wright. So the big thing we'll talk about the matchup is that right side of the offensive line is going to have two new starters, and we're going to talk about why that's important. What I think New England's going to do, kind of how they're going to set it up to try to expose that. Questionable is Ashton Davis for the Patriots. Christian Gonzalez, big loss.
That's a big swing
big
for us. Big momentum swing.
Christian Gonzalez plays Tyreek real well. I mean, their secondary is a weakness of their defense. That's a big loss for them.
We'd be screwed if he was in.
Oh, big time. All right. So game plan offensively. Let's start there. You want to start? Or you want me to start here, Curtis?
Go for it. You go for it, man.
All right. I think looking at this game plan, there's a couple of things that come in factor here in offensively. I think they're going to try to come out running early. They always like to go against what the narrative said they didn't do last week because they're, sensitive and weak-minded. So they're going to come out. They're going to try to run, set up early, and I think that's a good thing because I think they can hit on play action on this Pats secondary. They have two new safeties, rookie Woodson and Jalen Hawkins. Pats like to send pressure, okay? But they have trouble generating actually with the four-man rush. So there's going to be a chance, and we're going to talk about the coverage they play because I think that's the most important thing to watch in this game. Okay, Patriots last week, Curtis. Man coverage, first in the league, 71%. Cover one, first in the league, 65%. What does that tell you? Their base is cover one, man coverage. They were last in zone coverage at 26%. Here's the thing to watch, and this will tell you what Dolphins should counter with. Will they stick with cover one? I'll ask you this question first. Will they stick with cover one, or will they switch to more of that cover two zone, switch it up? And I think that's going to be dangerous for the Dolphins because like they played with the Vrabels with the Titans, they played that zone cover two. First question before we get to the game plan, are they going to stay with that high rate of man coverage in cover one?
No, I think that'd be totally insane. I hope they do. That would be good for us. But, unless they get some serious pressure. But that would not be a wise move. You do. Vrabel showed in 21 against us against Tennessee how to play us. And he kept on building that model. They're down Gonzalez. Their front is really good. Barmore and Williams and Landry and Tonga. Tonga's a guy I think you need to talk about. So I think they're just going. I think if it was me and what I think they should do, because I know Vrabel's smart, is just force us to be consistent. Don't let any pop points. So I think they'll play cover 2, the mix and match. They'll kind of probably do what the Colts did. They'll play over coverage, under coverage, blitz timely. And I think they're going to get pressure with their front 4. And because their linebackers do struggle in coverage, they're good in the run stop. For me, this game's about winning on first down. I think Vrabel understands that. Get us into second and long, whether it's a incomplete pass, a negative play, or a penalty, and just play the numbers game. So I think it would be crazy. But hey, I didn't think the Colts could play us the way they did, and they did.
It's a big change.
Although they dialed back from the blitz.
Here's the thing. Going from number 1 in cover 1 and man coverage and being last in zone to switching it all around, I think that's worrisome for me. It could confuse Tua, and because if you look at the tape last week, it's all it's all man in cover 1. If they play man, they're going to blitz, and if they play man, I think their secondary. Remember, this is not the Colts, right? And especially when we get to pressure rate for the Dolphins, this could be interesting. The thing with, you said they're going to pressure with the 4-man line. I watched some of it. Everything they did, Harold Landry's 2 sacks were on stunts and twist.
And we're going to struggle at that.
Yeah. So their pressure rate, they were 6th in blitz rate, 4th in stunt blitz rate, but only 22nd in pressure rate. So there's going to be plays downfield. I think the game plan is that. I think they got to attack the middle of the field better. The Dolphins, this offense is made on quick plays and middle of the field. You said it. Talk a little bit about the Patriots linebackers and coverage. Spillani's great run defender. We don't have the tight end to mismatch, but we got to create some isolation on these linebackers because they had struggled to turn their hips, and they're not very good in coverage. So I think they should attack the middle of the field. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, and also if they play man, it makes the reads easier. And the key is to slow down to his reads. He has a read coverage system, so if you're playing man, it's very easy to know where to go with the ball. So you're going to play his zone coverage, and you're going to bring maybe a robber in. You're going to adjust post snap. And so what they'll do is probably play the edges wide. They'll play the linebackers off the ball so they can get a little help to drop into the middle. And they're going to take the deep and the short out and the middle, and they'll leave the deep outs that Tua struggles to complete. And they'll say, run inside. But I don't like the matchups. Tonga is almost 340 pounds. You play in the 0 or in a 1 over Brewer and Keon Smith, the Brunskill. It's going to be very difficult. It's going to force Paul. It's going to force Savaianaya to do well in that run game. Hey, what's going on, George? How you doing, brother? And then Landry's going to be going against Borum. And Borum is good. He's better than Jackson in inside zone, but he struggles on outside zone, and he struggles in his movement skills. And so the problem is that, and Premier, the asset for Vrabel is he knows the sectors where we're going to struggle, and there's a couple of them. I can't see them not doing what everybody else does, vacate the middle. Sort of Colts do it. They shade with the corners on the outside. They'll force us to have to be on schedule, run the football inside. I still think even with that, we could pop one because Spillane's good, but he's not fast.
Yeah.
Ellis is not so good. But leverage, if you give them enough leverage, they can cover. So I think we can pop.
They're not the most fluid athletic. When I watch them, when they turn their hips, it's not. You saw what we don't have Bowers to expose that, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, we don't. We got Tanner though, and Julian Hill.
We got to get the Waddle Hill. We got to get the running backs out in space there. Achane and Gordon, to it. And I said, look, they have to eat in the middle of the field better. I know that's what teams are kind of funneling everything to the outside, but Tua is usually better, and he has to be better attacking the middle of the field. That's his strength. Last week, 35.1 rating, 8 for 12, 78 yards, 2 interceptions in the middle of the field, inside the hashes. That's they won't win if he does that.
Nope. Nope.
So I think they need to do it. And I agree with you. I want the running game to get started, but I think the matchup's better. I think Tua could have a big game here. I think the matchup's actually better in the passing game, but run early. I think they need to run early, get some success, because Vrabel, they're going to send pressure. We talk about their blitz numbers. They're going to send pressure. They might send less than last week, but again, whoever's watching the show, try to figure out if you can when you're watching the game what kind of coverage they're playing. That's going to dictate a lot what the Dolphins should do early on. You agree with that?
Yeah, but the thing is, with Mike McDaniel he's like like he's got doesn't have enough junk in his trunk. He doesn't have enough intestinal fortitude. It's not. This is going to be a low-scoring game. Our defense matches up with their front. May's inconsistent. It's got to be a game, and that's why people didn't understand Gailey. But Gailey would run that football even if it wasn't successful because he understood that was setting things up for later. It was getting the defense time to rest. It was keeping the defense honest. You want to score on every drive, but you've got to think macro and not micro. And I think McDaniel just is focused. We got to score. And he just gets very nervous. You run the football. You try to control field position. You're supposed to have a great front. You got Minka over the top. You've got to play field position because look, you might run the football inside on first down and pick up 1 or 2 yards. And then it might end up being a stalled drive if you're not good on second down. But then the next play, they're going to be thinking, well, if I do it, a couple times, it's going to change the way they think over the course of the game, and it will open up the big play. But we need more small ball passing. We need to change the sectors where they focus on. We need to do something that is not on McDaniel's script, and we need to change that leverage and get the DCs and the players going, you know what? They're not just doing what they do every week. Because if an offense doesn't have initiative, they're dead in the water. They're supposed to know the snap count. They know where the play is going. If the defense says, you know what? I know where you're going to go. I'm going to cover you a little 3 sectors. And they're going to win it eventually, even if you got more talent, because they have the leverage. And so you've got to think tactically, strategically over the course of a game and let it unfold. Because if you do start breaking a couple of runs later, look what happened in the Jags game last year. We ran the ball ineffectively, but by the end of the game, they screwed up, made some mistakes. They probably could have won it, but ultimately it started opening things up. And you've got Ollie Gordon. You've got to make something different than what we've seen because they know how often can you just keep doing and just say, it's like bang, it's the ever-ready battery, banging your head against it. It's not working. It's been 1.5 years since it's worked, or 1 year and 1 week. So I just think that he's got to be patient. Okay, look, we'll get out there. It's a 2nd and 8. Okay, let's, try to pick the first. Where's these short passes and where's the small game just to matriculate the first downs? He's so busy trying to take chunk yards and get scores that's why one of the reasons why we're inconsistent. You gotta be diverse. And he just gets so scared so quick.
Yeah. I just want to mention we had 305 Sportsmate in the chat.
Nice.
I met her last night at the Dive Bars Live. It was a great event. They had their live broadcast at Cigar Bar. And, I got my Big E Strong bracelet.
Yeah, Big E, man.
Stay tuned at the end of the show. I'm
That's
going to
right.
put up the display and kind of how you can contact her and get it. So stay tuned at the end of the show. Stick with us so you can get all that information. Shout out to Over. On all platforms, we have 108 people tuning in. Guys,
Sweet.
Share the broadcast. Everybody get in the chat. It's live. It's pumping. This Saturday morning. Let's
go, George.
Let's get as many people in here we can. Come on over to YouTube, hit that like button. Where else do you get? Did you just listen to Curtis? Where else do you get this kind of in-depth?
Man.
Man.
I wish I saw me like you saw me.
All right, so game plan wise, what is your best thing? You think try to show run early, and let's get them coming up and take advantage of their secondary. Because I think the passing game, I honestly think this game is a game for Tua to have a big game in the receiver.
It is, but I don't
their front
think
is good.
But I don't think we're going to be able to just take it. That's the thing is that you've got to put them out of position. You've got to catch them. In the past, we had, Connor and Hunt and Tehran, huge difference. And you would get that extra time to simply take, but that was usually against lesser teams. And so McDaniel just doesn't know how to get the defenses off balance. Not anymore, because they understand he's limited in what he can attack. We still got the speed and the talent, but you just got to rock them and get them out of position so you can get this stuff done. He's got to be patient. He's got to think, it's a two-way street. I got my defense. I got my offense. Let's kind of get in position. Let's get them off balance. Let's get them tired in the second half, because if he goes 3 and out, the heart, or 4 and out, and they get a long drive, this team could snap.
Yeah, and let's talk about the offensive line. We're obviously going to be out. Their right side's concerning. It looks like it'll be Borum at right tackle. You think it's Keon Smith again, or they go Brunskill?
I would play Brunskill. Keon Smith is no bueno, man. No bueno.
No.
I'm not saying Brunskill's a superstar, but he's a vet. He's got a little more junk in the trunk.
So here's what I think. Talking about Vrabel's going to outcoach McDaniel. Here's what I think they're going to do, Curtis. Listen to this, guys, and see if you can watch this during the game. I think they're going to force them to slide protection left to the left side, and they're going to free up that right side. If Harold Landry's 2.5 sacks run stunts and twists, they're going to run a bunch of stunts, twists on that right side, send pressure, force those guys in communication. That worries me, right? It's very important more than anything that Tua a lot of the times got to call it out. Some of those sacks are on Tua. He doesn't call out the protection.
Protections were ugly.
Yeah, yes, and they got to do the simple math. You take the outside guy. You take just everybody slide outside. It's just a simple high school football mistakes. They can't do that because they're going to try to do that. Curtis, do you agree? Slide protection to the right, create that space.
Of course,
on the left, create the space and stop.
I mean, Barmore and Williams are very potent, and you add Landry. I think there's a problem. I still think Jonah could play, but that foot keeps coming up and down in the same spot. He wastes his first step. He's been okay.
Yeah, he wasn't as bad as I thought when I watched it back. I don't know about you.
No. But it wasn't. Yeah, no, he's not bad. He's got the talent, but there's some technique issues.
I'm worried about the right.
No, I think Paul will do well. I think the only concern I'd have is Paul is if Landry lines him up the old in and out. Sometimes he leans.
Yeah, he does struggle with that.
That's about it.
He played excellent versus.
Oh yeah, he's something that fans should be happy about. And I know fans it's like this sucks, and it does. But there have been dark periods. You just got to enjoy the players that will be here in the future when this regime is gone, because it's going. And he's definitely one of them. He's going to be with us. He stays healthy. And that's great.
I still love this draft class. I think it's a good draft class. It's too early to tell. It's one game.
Oh yeah.
It's one game. But yeah. I agree with you on all those points. I want to see some more Ollie Gordon early, but that front, can they contain them? It's their best guys. Those 3 guys: Landry, Milton Williams, and Barmore. You want to pull up their PFF grades?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can throw it up there. It's only PFF. It's week 1. So let's
see.
It's just a general rough estimate.
All right, defense it's a little. It was a last minute thing, but you look at those 3 guys in green: Landry
and Tonga. He's not on there. He's their nose tackle.
Explain to everybody what the green, yellow, kind of what.
Yeah, if it's green or like a bluish green. Once it gets to red, that's bad. So it's red to green, good to bad.
But
and you got to remember it's matchups too. So it's only 1 week. So if they had a bad matchup, it makes them look worse than they are. But it's a general rough estimate. But Borum had a pretty good game. But he played limited snaps, but he's not that good. Smith he had poor pass blocking, decent run blocking, but I don't think he's that good either. So Vi they struggled. I thought he was a little bit better. Paul did play the number. Brewer played really good in pass protect, but not good in run protect, run blocking. And, obviously Hill and Waddle were way better than that. So, but you can get a look at what they're doing. White might not be in this game, but
he's questionable or doubtful, I think.
Yeah, he's been sick all week.
I think he's actually out.
Yeah, he's been sick all week. And I thought it was going to be much better, but he's been struggling with his effort.
Yeah.
But Tonga, look, so you put Tonga at the nose tackle, and then you can flank him with Williams and Barmore for your front. And that's going to be very tough. It's going to force us. They can play the 3 technique between the guard and tackle with Armour and Williams. They both can play that spot. And then Tonga will suck up 2 blocks, and then you're going to have Landry play outside, and then you got Chase on. There's things they can do. It will hurt their rotation a little bit, but that's that's a strength of the defense.
Right also, look at the green. Straight on the D-line. Barrymore, Williams, Landry.
And Tonga. Tonga's a skid. Tonga,
but I'm saying, I know, but as far as Williams and Landry, especially on the pass rush.
Oh, yeah. He was third best. He was third best in one-on-one matchups.
They're quicker and lighter on defense than they were last year.
Yep.
And I'm worried about what they're going to do on the right side. You see Landry on the right side. We told you earlier, they're going to slide that protection, everything over. It's going to free up that space on the right side. And they had the most stunt blitz rate last week. So yeah. So that's that for the offense. Let's go to the defense game plan. You want to start out what you think, or you want to go the numbers first?
You could go up the numbers.
So defense. Let's go last week. I think here's the first thing we got to look at. And thanks to everybody in the chat. We appreciate it. Here's the first thing we got to look at. Dolphins were pressure on the quarterback, right? I think Drake May, last week I watched the game, he still misses wide open throws. I mean, it's first game under Josh McDaniel's new system. I get all that, right?
He's inconsistent.
Wide open. Doesn't see the field well. Not good under pressure. He's got talent, all the physical tools, the arm, the running ability, which we'll talk about. But the Dolphins, I think that last week versus the Colts, we said pressure on Jones, they got none. This is not the Colts offensive line, right? They got 2 rookies. Will Campbell, that played okay, and they got Jared Wilson, the young kid who actually was high on coming out, very athletic center out of Georgia.
Yeah, and Onwenu's pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
And Moses is good, but he's got a bad foot and he's older.
This is not the Colts offensive line.
No. No, the one sort of parity, though, is the tight end group. They got Hooper and Henry. And so there is a little bit of parallel. I think they're going to be playing a lot more 12 personnel and run the football more than they did last week. But no, that front doesn't have Nelson and everybody else.
They don't want 46 passes from Drake May. That's not their success. You're going to see them. I think they're going to involve Trevion Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson a lot more. So the run defense is going to be key. But getting Dolphins pressure, speaking of the pressure, blitz rate last week, Dolphins were first in the league.
60%.
Almost 60%, yes.
Crazy.
And they were first. Here's the thing. They were first in 7-man blitz. And they still didn't get home at 13.3%. Percent. As their motion blitz, they were first. That was the most. They did a bunch of motion blitzes. They were 62.5%. 5-man blitz, they were tied for third.
Wow. So I didn't know it was that high. I knew it was 60%, but that's crazy.
Yeah. The pressure rate, they were 28. That's how good the Colts O-line played.
Yeah.
So
how tired they were. That defense was gassed by the end of the first quarter.
Yeah. So what does that tell you? They blitzed the most. They blitzed the most 7-man, and they were tied for third with 5.
Kitchen sink.
And their pressure rate was 28.
Yeah.
Chop Robinson had one of the worst games I've seen him play.
Yeah, he got eliminated.
This was like the first half of last year, Chop Robinson. None of the guys. How many wins did Phillips and Chubb have? Not many. So
Phillips had a few. Phillips, I thought, was the best in a pass rush. It was I don't got the numbers for it, but I liked what he did. And even Chubb had some, but they also folded in the run game too.
Yeah. So I think this week, game plan is you're going to get home this time. And I think you can get home with 4 with those guys. I don't think you can see those blitz numbers go down a little bit. I think they can get home with 4. And
only caveat to that is that last week the Patriots, their pass rush mitigation, play action, and screens was 29%, which is extremely low.
Yeah.
And I think that aided towards the pressure they saw. I think you're going to see them go to more 12 personnel, up the pass rush mitigation to keep this front off them, and then that could force.
They got 2 good. They got tight ends.
Hooper and Henry, and both can block.
They're not world beaters, but they're good. They're solid.
No. Henry's a pretty good all round, but not great. He's not. What's his name? Warren.
So for you on defense is how do you think? Okay, so the Dolphins coverage rate last week. I want to talk about this. Zone coverage.
Do we have to?
Yes, because I think this is a key too.
Ouch.
Because I think they need to switch things up here. So zone coverage, they were 4th with 66%. They ran zone. Man coverage, they were 24th at 33%. I think that number needs to switch. Because you saw a film, and I'm curious to get your opinion on this, Curtis. They played awful in zone. They didn't look like they knew how. They never played zone in their life. Storm Duck just got lost. Yeah. I think. Look. Do I think if they play man, Curtis, that they'll give up a big play or two? Yes. But in zone, everything's been open. Everything was open.
Yeah.
There's just no communication. I think that number needs to switch. The 66 goes to man, and 33 goes to zone. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's just like everything we do with this team, there's an incongruency. You've got this great front, terrible defense. You look at the offensive line, and you got mixed match of talents and skill sets. When you design a team, you're trying to design a style, a personality. But so you got Jack Jones, who's a better man than zone guy. But then you got Rasul Douglas, who can't play man because he'll get burnt. And then Marshall, who's not, I don't know what he's good at right now. And so it's who? What do you do? Who else you going to got to play it? So I think maybe they should, because Jack Jones at least could maybe go on Diggs, but they know to book on Diggs. It's so difficult when you build a team ad hoc like this, because you got to just grab whatever you can. And it's just a bad match of the skill sets. You got guys who can't play zone. Jack Jones is not good at zone. Rasul Douglas is better at zone. Duck wasn't good at zone. Marshall. So it's like, what do you do? It's just it's just a typical Greer design.
They're worried about the big play, right? But they're giving it up anyways. But I'd rather give up a couple big plays than every the middle of the field open, the outside hash, everything was open. They couldn't figure out. It's again, Curtis. It was like they played zone for the first time.
It was crazy.
Go man. Don't play that cover too. Go man, and you might give up a big play or two, but who knows? Switch it up. I think the percentage.
I think switching it up's the key. Look, you got May, who has struggles with reading. So you know what?
Yes.
Switch it between man and zone. Have some different kind of zones. Adjusting. Make him slow it down for that pass rush to get you. I don't think you should go anything hot and heavy.
Yeah.
Unless you get burned in one,
I agree with Clown Prince.
Definitely more man, though. Definitely more man.
Waddle and Hill should feed. This is a game. We'll get spoiler alert. We'll get into my bold predictions, because last week wasn't good. But Ollie Gordon, I agree. I think Curtis and I agree. This is a game where they can take advantage of this.
Should, maybe, possibly.
That percentage needs to come closer. I think let's pull up we did the other graphic, the defense, Dolphins. Let's pull up the Dolphins defense. I believe here. No, this one. Yeah. So last week again. I don't know how.
Not indicative. Yes. Yeah, look,
the orange. Tyrell Dawson got that great. I watched him. He missed so many running lanes. I don't know about you.
He missed a lot of tackles too.
Yeah, to me, this is just a piece. There's something to this. These guys do a lot of work. There's something to this, but it's just a piece you can use.
Well, the thing is with the PFF, the worst thing about PFF is the thing that they put up front is the overalls, because they basically take certain skill sets and emphasize that as a higher level for the formula. And so, but if you go into their skill set grades, it's much better, and it's not indicative of their overall. So I think the biggest thing about PF that bothers me and hurts them the most is their overall, because you could be a good pass blocker and terrible run blocker, but if you're in a running system, then it's not good. So just take it for what it is.
Yeah, look at Chops 37.
He had a bad game.
That was a bad game. That looked
no like, pass rush, no run defense.
And the corners, I'll tell you, I didn't think Fitzpatrick had a very good game. And he had the highest in the secondary. So I don't know about you, what you saw with Fitzpatrick, but I didn't think he had a very good game.
I don't think he had I think remember
what I expected. I expect a little bit more out of him.
But it's hard because I was talking to Darius DeHady, and I'll put in that podcast on a little bit, so come check it out.
Yeah.
But he's a Division I cornerback, and he said that Minka looked like he kind of like lost hope at an early stage in the game. And if guys aren't covering, football's a game of heart, and it's very easy to lose that fire. I thought he played pretty decently. He has a nice blitz, a delayed blitz on one. He's generally there for the coverage, but guys were just failing all around him. And so I think at some point his morale dropped. But I thought he did pretty decently. But I didn't just study him, so don't.
I agree. I think we can play man again. This is why I switched to more man. These New England look a bunch of the same yesterday. They were hyped up. Josh McDaniels, new offense, Drake May, but their receiver, they don't get a ton of separation. They're not very fast at receiving core. They have Diggs. They have Butte. I forget who the other receiver is. His name slipped me.
Butte.
Butte. So you can play, man. These guys are not big separators. They're not speed guys. It's not like you're playing the Dolphins kind of receivers. Or even the Colts. The Colts have great weapons. I think that's one of the most underestimated things. And I think also you want to get the Patriots early while they're still learning everything, implementing their systems. So I think that's pretty good, So what would you say defensive game plan, kind of how you would attack this kind of more man coverage? How would you do blitz wise? More or less than last week? How would you attack this Patriots offense?
Well, I would try to make sure there's no big plays early. I'd make sure you got guys. They're definitely going to be doing play action rollouts. They're definitely going to try to run the football. Without Benito, there is a little weakness in there. They're going to try to attack chop.
They'll run at chop.
Yeah, I think they come out in 12 personnel more. And Diggs, I'd put Jones on Diggs if you're going to play man. Diggs is still good, but he's not going to tear you deep, with his speed, and Butte's pretty good. Yeah. But you've got to not allow the quick score. You got to make sure these guys, because if they start putting chunk yards on, this defense will start fighting. And that was one of the things I forgot to mention before. People were very happy that Brooks punched Dotson in the preseason. I didn't like that. That, to me, you can get into a guy's face, and that's one level. But when you punch somebody, that's a serious division. And I think there is division here. And so when it's tenuous like that, hey, look, if you come out, you do really well, this whole meeting thing could turn into a good thing. But you just can't allow big plays. You can't allow that momentum to flip on you, because it will go the exact opposite way. So they're going to try to run the football. They're going to try to run play actions. They're going to try to get a little drive going, because this defense was on the field all day. They're tired and beat up. So you just got to make sure you do your job. Let these guys find the weakness in that defensive line. Stop the run on the first down. Get them. It's almost like what we need to do to that. What they need to do to us. You just got to try. It's a battle of consistency. So we've got to stop the run. They've already committed. They said McDaniels said that they didn't ran enough, and they could recommit to it, which I thought was crazy. So they're going to commit to the run, and I think they're very serious about knocking us out. So they're going to be very physical.
It was kind of similar. You said it. We didn't run Gordon enough or A-Chain. They want to run Henderson. It's kind of like usually when teams get that narrative going into the week and they talk about it, they almost have to do it. So
except us.
Except us. I think both sides, like you said, I think New England will come out in 12 personnel, establish the run. They want to get Henderson, their shiny rookie, more involved. It's been the talk over there. We talked to Sophie Weller from Pat's Wire. We had her on a few days ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. She's great. Check out that episode if you want to get caught up on the past stuff. She's fantastic. So I agree with you 100%. I think they're going to try to do that and try to get over the top on the secondary. It's curious. I think a lot of these things on both sides is how they play. I'm curious to see what adjustments both teams make on defense, how they're going to attack this.
It's going to be a game of intestinal fortitude.
Yes.
Who cracks and gets desperate first? Unless we just, come out and just put on major points,
Shout out for, Saturday morning. We're at 11:20. We got over in all platforms, 122 people watching.
Oh,
guys,
thanks.
Come over to YouTube. Watch with us on YouTube. Share the broadcast. Bring as many people in you can. Help support us to get Curtis and I. We're diving deep. Where else do you get this kind of in-depth? Where else do you get this kind of in-depth matchup anywhere else? But, all right. Colin Quinn says Las Vegas couldn't establish a run last week. They would have passed. Agree. We talked about that. This is a game where they held tough on the run. So and their best players on that defense are their middle linebacker, Spillane, and those three defensive linemen. So this could be a game where even though we want the Dolphins to establish the run, it could be a game where they actually
a lot of their pass yards came from Bowers and
I know who you're talking about.
the two tight ends, the one they drafted in first round, Meyer.
Meyer, yeah.
So a lot of them, they probably
have
have
New England. There's no power in New England. All right. So we talked about the key matchups. Let's get in quickly, kind of brief review, keys to the game. I'll give you some keys. We mentioned a lot of them, but I think for the Dolphins offensively, establish the run early. It's going to set things up. Attack downfield on this man. If they're playing man, there's going to isolate these receivers. There's going to be matchups. I think on the right side, it's very critical that they communicate well and they protect on these stunts and twists. I told you they're probably going to slide protection and create some space there on the right side. And better in the open field. Tua was horrific last week in the open field. And I think get pressure and rattle.
He got rattled.
Yeah, and I think this week they can because the offense. I don't think people realize how. I think we might look back in the Colts and say, "Damn, they were a pretty good team." You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
So, any keys to the game? Anything you want to add in the keys to the game? Anything?
Turnovers, man. I think turnovers is going to be it's going to be brutal. If Tua throws a pick, man, it's just going to be gut wrenching. And if they get a pick, or fumble. We just can't have running into the kicker. That's going to be the big sauce beyond the chemistry and the hearts.
Was that the one stop we had on them? And we ran into the kicker. That's crazy stat too.
That's crazy.
I can't even. Yeah. All right. So from key matchup, let's do some individual matchups. All right.
I suck at this.
I know you, but I got a couple.
I know. I'm working on it.
I know. You're good at it. I always got a couple, and I lead you off here. Offensive guards versus Milton Williams and Barrymore.
Oh, it's not going to be pretty. It won't be pretty. It's about mitigating the defeats. That's it. Our front's not beating their front. It's not happening. But that doesn't mean you can't. If it's at a certain level, even if they're beating you, as long as it's not too fast and too often, you can still win the game because of our skill talent. I mean, Achane and Waddle and Hill. I mean, how much speed do you need?
Yeah.
But if it's too, I think that they're going to win. I just don't know to what degree, except for Keon Smith. I know he's going or Brunskill, more Keon Smith. They're going to be on skates.
Yeah, either one of those guys is no one. All right, you got one you want to add? Anything particular when you look at it? Any matchup you're really looking forward to seeing individually?
To me, Julian Hill is one of the biggest pieces of the puzzle because Tana can catch, but he can't block. But when he's out there, they're going to key on what we're doing. So you've got, hey, Dive Bar, what's going on? Is that?
Shout out to the Dive Bar. Great. I met all the guys.
Yeah, I heard you had a great show last night.
Hey, yeah, great show. Great guys. Even better in person. Bobby, Joe, Ghost. Thanks to Joe and the guys. They gave me and my brother hats and shot glasses.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Lucky
man.
you,
It was
man.
a great time. Yeah. Thank you, Bobby, and everything. It was great meeting them, and can't wait to do it again. All right.
Bobby's great.
The matchups. Julian Hill. You were saying.
Julian Hill. Look, you got to get if you got this struggle with our offensive line against their D front, that tight end becomes even more critical. And so what are we going to do? We had low pass rush mitigation last week too and had lots of 3 and 4 wide receiver sets. And that's what we wanted to do this year, 11 personnel and beyond. But it didn't work out well. So you're going to want to see Ingold and Hill. I think Ingold does pretty good. Hill, though, has got to pick it up.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I forgot to mention Eric. Yeah, all these guys are great. Like, you meet people and you're friends with them, then you meet them in person, they're even better. It's fantastic. And they're met their family and a bunch of good people last night. Alfredo Ortega was there, Josh Moser from WSVN.
That was great.
Ash and Luke, Jonathan, you know him in the chat all the time. I wonder where Jonathan, if he still woke up. I'm sure the boys were out pretty late last night.
I'm tired just hearing George's stories, man. I'm in bed by 9:30, man. I got to take my Geritol at 6 in the morning.
All right, you ready for a couple more matchups I had real quick? Patriots linebackers on the running backs. We don't have the tight ends to expose them, but I think that in coverage, the running backs and isolate some receivers there.
Yeah.
And the edge rushers, Chop versus Will Campbell, the rookie, I think is going to be big.
Yep. And for me, Morgan Moses more because he's got a bad foot and he's a little slow anyway. I thought Campbell did a really good job. They
I
kind
thought
of
he was okay. The fourth quarter, he had the strip sack, but
that wasn't on him.
Yeah,
He was blocking the guy. The running back hit him from behind, the blocker, instead of from the side and freed him up. Because you remember you're blocking a guy, also get blasted. Now he's free. But he had 2 big penalties though too. But I thought up until that point, it was very good.
All right, you ready to play your favorite game?
Yeah, sure. Why
ready?
not? I got to get better. Practice makes perfect.
We didn't do well last week either of us. So, all right, you ready? Over unders in chat. You can chime in. Make sure you're on YouTube watching with us. Chime in. Share the broadcast. All right, Tua, 237.5 passing. Over or under?
You better be over or you lose. I picked us to win.
Okay, I go over.
Over.
Over. I'm going over. It's
over.
Over. All right. I agree over as well. Receiving. Tyreek Hill, 65.5. Over, under.
God, guy hasn't seen 65.5 since the flood, man. But I got to believe it. They're down Gonzalez. Just takes 1 catch. He's got to be over. He's got to be.
Oh, Beach is taking under.
They might focus on him and let Waddle do his thing, but gosh, you got Hill if he's not getting 65. Lord, Waddle better have over 100.
Yeah, Waddle. Speaking of Waddle, 50.5 yards over under, and he hasn't hit that in the last 6 out of 10 games. By the way,
I'm going to flip it. I'm going to say Hill under because they're going to focus on him, and Waddle's going to be the lead.
So you go 100.
I'll say Waddle over 50 and Hill under 65.
Yeah, I'll actually go the other way. I'm going Hill over, Waddle under, slightly under.
Who knows? They both could be under with what we've seen.
Receptions, 4.5 for Jalen Waddle. Has not hit that line in 8 out of 10.
I'm concerned about Waddle because he's got a bad shoulder.
So
and Vrabel.
At that line at 4.5, hasn't hit that number in 8 of the last 10 of that number when the line's 4.5. That's
wow.
Shock.
And I'm worried too because the Patriots are going to play hard. They know he's got a bad shoulder. They're just going to wait to attack him and drive him into that shoulder. I'll say under. I think he might have 1 big play or 2.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning with you there under. Slightly under. I think he'll get 4 catches. Right, the 4.5 is always interesting. But I do think this is a chance for a big game. I'll go over. You know what? I'm changing my mind. I'm going over on both. I think it's a big game in the passing game. I'm going over on receiving.
If not now, when?
Yeah, I'm going over 65.5 Hill receiving. I'm going over 50.5 receiving for Waddle. I think the passing game wakes up this week. So I changed my mind at the last minute. I'm going over. Sometimes when we do these shows and I talk to you and I talk it out, my mind goes, "Oh, okay." You make me.
Oh yeah, trust me. I'm with that on the wins. I keep going back and forth. We're gonna win. We're gonna lose. We're gonna win. We're gonna lose. Who the hell knows?
All right, A-Chain.
I think he's gonna feast. I think that
60.5 rushing yards over under.
They're in Miami. There's the heat. He's got to go over.
Yeah,
it's got to. I think they're going to feed him because you notice. Remember when Mike McDaniel was getting his butt beat? All of a sudden he started throwing the football to Achane. They're going to feed this guy.
Was a nice inside zone run to the left side for 9 yards.
Yeah, well, we were in like 12 personnel and they were in like off nickel. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Ingle at fullback, you want to get more physical? Hey, McDaniel, try running 3 times in a row. See what happens. Something might happen. You know, the guy's also a 4.3 speed running back. You know, but
all it takes is one.
And then bring Gordon in with the changeup. All right, so
Gordon needs more character.
I'll go slightly over on.
Elwood is going to be 83 in storms. I thought it saw clear.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, it was storm. I know it was storming here.
That's bad, dude. That's bad. If it rains and stormy, we're screwed.
Yeah, because then it gets more, the line of scrimmage becomes more important in the running game, and it'll mitigate the weakness of that. Well, it helped our secondary too, but the weakness of the Patriots are in the second. The just I can't see the O-line holding up.
That's the if it rains on that game, that's the gods, the football gods saying, "This is the end, my only friend."
So we're both going over on the A-chain rushing yards.
Yeah, why not?
4.5 receptions. I'm going over on A-chain.
Yeah, they're going to have to feed this guy. McDaniel's career is on the line.
Yeah.
They're going to feed this guy with 1,000 of everything.
All right, we're both going over. I think they expose those linebackers in coverage because they don't have the tight end to do it. So we all know that. I mean, Tanner, you know, maybe.
How'd you doing it now?
Yeah, I can't do it without. All right, Ollie Gordon, 16.5 rushing yards. He better go over that.
Oh, he better, but it's gonna be a little. It's gonna be a little.
Last week.
Yeah,
I thought last week.
16 yards. What is that saying if he doesn't get 16 yards?
It was 27.5 last week, I thought. And I thought did Malik go over? There was a couple of lines that were so like, I bet the mortgage on it. And
that's why I don't bet.
Yeah. Hey, Vegas is not stupid, right? They know that there's a line out there for a reason.
Oh, they're smart. They know.
So we're both going over, right? They got to get him more involved. I thought it was ridiculous. How little involvement they got. I see Sports Night with Jorge. He's got his prediction. We're going to get to that. Very similar prediction to me. Spoiler alert. All right. Bold prediction time. You want me to go first, or you going first?
You can go first.
All right. Tua over 275 and over 2 touchdowns in this game. I think passing game opens up. They bounce back. And another one is Chop Robinson 2 sacks in this game.
All right, I'm gonna say Sela 2 sacks.
Ooh,
because the left guard he's got issues, and I think that
you got a rookie inside.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for it. I like Sela. I want him to get off the schneid, so I'll go.
I think you'll see the pass rush. I think 2 things will happen: the passing game will come back a little bit, and the pass rush. Those 2 things, I think that they better or we're in trouble.
No whammies.
So let's get into the predictions. Final score prediction. I see Sports Night with Jorge's prediction in here. Chat, you can put your prediction. Give me your final prediction. You go first here. Why do they win this game or lose this game, Curtis?
If we become predictable and we struggle on first down, we lose. This offense crumbles. The defense will get tired and they'll struggle and we'll lose. So we've got to have a coherent offensive game plan. This is all the talent still on this team. It's McDaniel's offense. On the side of the ball, and it's McDaniel's offense. So that if it's going to be about the offense, turnovers, first down, and balance. If not, we lose. I think we win. I think that we're home. It's hot unless it rains. And I think May will likely show. I think it's going to be close. I had 20-21 or 24-21, something like that. 3.1 point. I could see. I could see
by a close game, field goal.
Yeah, I think they'll. I don't know.
Your best guess.
Wet the bed, like a 90-year-old geriatric patient. I don't know.
We got to put our opinion out there. Some
yeah.
work, some
I think they got to win. If they don't win here, it's over. So
it's not making it after Buffalo if they don't.
No, forget it.
All right, here I go. I think this Dolphins. First of all, they're 8-2 versus Buffalo the last 10. I know it doesn't mean not much. New coaching staff. 2 has never beat Vrabel, but I think they're coming down the heat in September. It's a recipe. I think they put pressure on May. I think they get to the quarterback. This is not the Colts' offensive line. I think they hit a few big plays downfield, bearing the weather of the game. I think the Pats got a blitz to get pressure. So I think if the Dolphins, the O-line, the right side can hold up decently, like you said, they're going to get beat. I think they're stuffed downfield. I think Tua bounces back a little bit here. I think I mentioned you're catching the Patriots early. They're still learning the system with Josh McDaniel. I think this Patriots team, when we play them at the end of the season, will be a lot better. Dolphins win 21-17, and we start with the hopium again.
Why not? It's the end of the line here anyway.
Regardless of what happens, win or lose, you're just kicking the can down the road. It's the reset's coming. The McDaniel experiment's over.
It's not if, it's when.
It's when, right? So I couldn't agree more.
It's a win-win for the book. Listen, it's a win-win. If we win here, okay, we won. Let's get another, especially for the fans.
Can we do a show where a win? It's so tough doing this one.
Oh yeah, so tough. It's so tough for people going to see, spending all the money to go there too.
Yeah.
But if we lose, then we at least know McDaniel's out. Let's pray that Greer's out. So for me, it's a win-win. However it plays out, we win. I feel good. We lose. It's over. It's over. Restart.
Shout out to Lou from Dave. Lou's great, man. I met him last night with Ash.
Oh, nice.
Lou's a tremendously good guy, sweetheart. Beach Wave, Paps 24-17, and then Elwood 82 degrees of frustration. No chance of Storm Duck 24-20. Who do we think is starting? Rasul Douglas will get the start for Duck, right? They'll keep Marshall inside, right? None of that.
Yeah. Which is not looking like a bright move so far.
So, speaking of Lou, Ash, and I told you guys I got the Big E bracelet. I wanted to pull up this display here, guys. Go get your Big E Strong bracelets. Order yours today. Shipping is free. Big E's been a tremendous part of this community as he's battling cancer. He's waiting for a new liver. All funds raised will support Ian's and Dolphins Cancer Challenge. Please, guys, order it. You can, you see the information on the screen. Cash App, Zelle, $6 each for the bracelet. Help support. It goes to that Ian's Dolphins Cancer Challenge. And Lou and Ash do a tremendous job. I got mine yesterday. Guys, please, and if you have any questions, you can contact Ashley, 305 Sports Babe. And she'll take care of you that. But please, it's a great cause and a great support. So please help them out. Ian is, we're praying for him, right?
100%.
They lost 27-23 Miami. And George, this is a big game. Playing Thursday night in Buffalo is going to be big. Well, I don't know how big it's going to be.
Big deep down.
All right. So, thank you guys. Listen,
100%.
We got 130-something people watching on all platforms. Make sure you guys drop that like, support. We'll be back every Saturday, 10:30 a.m., Curtis, and we got more stuff in the works, right? We're just going to keep going. So
trying to find us, baby.
Yeah, find us. And tomorrow, right after the game, Finn's Faithful Podcast, post-game show. Curtis, you coming on?
Yeah, I'm going to try.
Yeah.
Depending if I'm hanging in the closet after a loss.
We'll have people come in and out. We might have some special guests, but come look for us right after the game. 5 minutes after the game, whatever. We are live. Come check it out. Hopefully, it's with a win. We appreciate everybody tuning in on this Saturday.
100%. Thank you.
Early afternoon, and we, guys, as always, fins up. Let's get a victory, man. Let's get a victory.
What does that feel like?
Curtis, for Curtis and myself, fins up, guys. We are out.
Good night. Good day. Good afternoon.